Hello, a warm welcome. Thanks so much for joining us on Kalkine TV. We've got the ASX buzzing stocks for the day. My name's Sage. The Australian shares opened lower on Thursday after the US Federal Reserve raised rates by an expected 50 basis points, but projected higher interest rates for a longer period. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said officials were not close to ending their aggressive campaign of interest rate increases. The S&P ASX 200 opened down 0.5% to 7,213.4, weighed by declines in the materials, healthcare, financials, tech and consumer discretionary sectors. Energy and consumer staples, however, rose. Endeavour Group led the decliners, falling 7%. Lithium miners Pilbara Minerals, Sayona, Liontown and Core Lithium were also lower. Coal miners New Hope and Whitehaven gained. Mark Brayan will step down as CEO and Managing Director of former ASX darling Appen. After a difficult year for the artificial intelligence data services company, Appen has tapped former KPMG, Dell and Hewlett-Packard executive Armugham Ahmad as his replacement, based out of its offices in North America. The move comes after a string of earnings downgrades, sending the company's share price down 75% this year to a 5.5-year low of $2.59. Chairman Richard Freudenstein thanked Mr. Brayan for his leadership of the company over the past 7 years. And moving along, grocery giant Woolworths has acquired a 55% stake in Petspiration Group. The investment will cost $586 million and will be funded by proceeds from the recent sale of Woolworths' interest in Endeavour Group. Petspiration is the owner and operator of retail brand Petstock and has a network of 276 stores. Woolworths Group CEO Brad Banducci said specialty pet is a large and growing retail segment. The company said specialty pet is a logical adjacency given the high penetration of pet ownership across Australia and New Zealand. Petspiration's founders Shane and David Young will retain a 45% equity stake and continue running the business. The transaction is subject to Australian Competition and Consumer Commission and New Zealand Commerce Commission approvals, with completion expected in mid-calendar year 2023. Lithium Explorer AVZ Minerals has extended its suspension from share market trade until January 31st, or until it can make an earlier announcement to the market. It says the suspension that has been in place since early May is necessary as it waits for an update on its mining licence in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It has not commented on the reasons why it's yet to receive the licence. The Explorer says it retains legal title to a 75% ownership interest in the Monono lithium deposit, which is regarded as the world's largest untapped hard rock lithium deposit. The miner also said it has been the subject of a hostile third-party campaign run by parties seeking to acquire an interest in the Monono project through questionable and irregular means. Taking a look at other news, the Australian Energy Regulator has released its report into market events that led to the suspension of the national electricity spot market in June 2022. The regulator says supply issues don't explain all the price increases in the wholesale market this year. Claire Savage, chair of the Australian Energy Regulator, said they have some evidence that suggests generators have been withholding some of their capacity to drive up prices. In June, the market operator took the unprecedented step of suspending the national spot market after generators were accused of withdrawing capacity. It comes as the federal government looks set to pass legislation today that will cap gas and coal prices. Thanks so much for joining us on that one. Hope your day in trading goes well. Do keep it locked on Kalkine TV for more of the market insights and business news. But that's all for this edition of the ASX Buzzing Stocks for the Day. Sage signing off for now.
Are you an investor looking for premium market opportunities? Presenting premium and exclusive service for investors by Kalkine.